Halftime down at Lincoln Financial Field, special edition of Football 24/7 with NFL insider John McMullen, all presented by Stateside Vodka. We go right to John McMullen, who watched the Philadelphia Eagles take over the football inside their own five and end up coming away with no points. John, let's pick it up there. The last 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes of the second quarter are a lot to talk about and a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, the Eagles pretty much dominated for the vast majority of the first half, and you get the 91-yard pass to Quez Watkins. You look like you're going to seize control of the game. All of a sudden, they can't punch it in. Really poor fourth down play call by Nick Sirianni. I thought as soon as Greg Ward came on the field, they have been using him. I turned to Bob Groats in the press box, and I said, he's going to throw the football. So if I could pick that up, the 49ers could probably pick it up. Tried to do a little bit of a Philly special type thing, maybe to hype up the crowd. I thought it was a rookie mistake by a young head coach and a young play caller. From there, obviously, the Eagles nearly won 6 quarters without giving up a 20-yard play defensively. Bang, you get 40 yards to Deebo Samuel. All of a sudden, that domination, and you're down 7-3 at halftime. And, oh, by the way, it looks like you lost Brandon Brooks and Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham carted off late. Looked like a left leg injury. I don't want to speculate, but certainly the players were gathering around him and giving their thoughts. So anytime you see that, certainly Brandon thinks it's a pretty significant injury. Eagles labeled Brooks as a chest injury. That would indicate to me more likely than not a pec injury. So Landon Dickerson did come in and play right guard for Brandon Brooks. It was interesting. His first play was the 91-yard pass to Quez Watkins. He actually got bowled over on that play, but obviously it didn't matter. Unfortunately, the Eagles weren't able to cap the drive, and now you have a little bit of adversity. So we'll see how they handle it. But, for the most part, the defense was just tremendous in the first half until the very end. We talked about the 49ers run game all week. They couldn't get anything going. The run game, Jimmy Garoppolo looked very uncomfortable. For the second straight week, Javon Hargrave is just dominating. But it all blew up in the final few moments of that first half. Still
John,
in the football game, still a long way to go, though.
Yeah, and John, let me ask you about that. After the Eagles come away with no score at the end of the field, the energy goes out of the building, and the offense that can't get going stays with it. They stay with it. They stay with it. And all of a sudden, a defense that was dominating, even on that short 3rd and 1, where it looked like Alex Singleton had stopped Garoppolo, but Garoppolo somehow was able to bounce off of Singleton and then for that first down.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a defense in the modern NFL, it's really difficult to be as locked down as the Eagles were and will have to be, it looks like, moving forward. So forget about 30 minutes of football, forget about 60 minutes, but even 30 minutes of football. I think still as a whole, that defense, you couldn't have asked for more from their aspect. Offensively, the Eagles moved the ball. They were pretty effective at times, but you got to finish. I mean, you got to finish. One positive note is Jalen Hurts on the deep ball, the Quez Watkins play where they didn't finish, but also Jalen Reagor, stepped out of bounds. Everyone thought he had a long touchdown. Jalen's got to be a little bit more defined. We've been talking about that a lot in his route running. Was able to get pushed out. He stepped out of bounds, and that took a touchdown off the board. So just got to sharpen things up a little bit, and maybe some of those big plays turned into points.
I'll get one last observation from you, Johnny Mac, before I let you go and return to halftime and do some research on what's happening with BG. You said it all week leading up to this game. The offensive line would provide a pocket for Jalen Hurts. The 49ers will want to keep Jalen in that pocket. That strike to Quez Jalen Hurts stood tall in that pocket and put it right on the money.
Yeah, that's one thing about Jalen. He's thrown the deep ball very good. I think even back in training camp, he just really has a feel for dropping the ball in the bucket outside the numbers, as they call it. I think the questions are the intermediate routes inside to the center of the field. And if you think about it, we're now through 6 quarters of football. You've rarely seen that type of throw from Jalen Hurts, and it's pretty obvious reason why they're not calling it. So I think Nick Sirianni is playing to his strengths, and I think that's a positive part of the rookie head coach. But we've talked about this a lot, Joe. You're going to have hiccups, and he had a hiccup on the fourth down call, and you got to learn from it, and you got to turn the page and move on.
Good stuff from John McMullen checking in from down at the Linc. It's our game day coverage on Football 24/7 here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Johnny Mac, I'll let you get back to halftime activity. We'll talk to you on the live post-game show. Good stuff from Johnny Mac checking in. Brandon Brooks is out. Brandon Graham is out. We'll get updates for you on that. And, of course, coming up at the very end of the game, when the game clock goes to double zeros and the game has been decided, the live post-game show right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Derek Gunn, Mark Farzetta, Devin Caney, Lane Johnson will check in from outside the locker room. I'm sure we'll ask Lane about Brandon Brooks. And, of course, John McMullen will jump in to the program and bring you all of the post-game details right here across the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, all presented, of course, by Stateside Vodka. Go to statesidevodka.com, use the phrase or the keyword JAKIB, and get 15% off a 1-liter bottle. That's statesidevodka.com. Halftime down at Lincoln Financial Field, and after the Philadelphia Eagles, who started inside of their own 5-yard line and had a strike from Jalen Hurts to Quez Watkins, were unable to come away with any points. A Philly special, or a hybrid of the Philly special, blew up in head coach Nick Sirianni's face down there when Greg Ward had no shot at completing a pass, easily sniffed out. As a matter of fact, you heard John McMullen talk about it in that report from the press box. He called it as soon as Ward came out onto the field. So that's where the air in the building went out of the Linc, and then Jimmy G gets going, and he moves the 49ers down the field, and it results in a 49er touchdown late in the game. By the way, the 49ers started that drive inside their own 3-yard line, following the fourth down failed attempted conversion for a touchdown by the Eagles. And that's where we stand here at halftime. The 49ers 7 and the Philadelphia Eagles 3. A game in which they dominated defensively, and Jalen Hurts looked great offensively. From a defensive side of the football, as a matter of fact, it wasn't until that late drive where the 49ers were able to then begin to convert on third down. The defense was spectacular until that last 2 minutes of the first half. Your score at halftime as we come across the JAKIB Media YouTube channel on this special halftime edition of Football 24/7. The 49ers 7, the Philadelphia Eagles 3. Don't forget, at the very end of the game, when we go to double zeros on the clock, 3 minutes after we go to double zeros, the live post-game show, exclusively presented by Ocean Casino and Resort, begins right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. See you at the end of the game.